Good evening, and welcome to the Better Life Convos series 5. Keep your mind sharp, fostering lifelong learning in a distracting world. My name is Ayodeji Bankole Lushino, and it's nice to have you here. And I know many of you are in different parts of the world. I'm in Lagos, where the temperature is over 30 degrees. So I guess we're all learning to cope. But as we usually start, I'll take you through a couple of slides, just to let you know what we're going to do and how we're going to go about it. Yes, you can ask questions during the presentation. You can send your questions into the Q&A box. And as the speakers provide the time, they will deal with those questions. If for any reason our connections go down, please just stay on and you can reconnect. Also, we usually ask, please follow our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, and look out for us in May. We will be launching our X page. There's a lot coming for us in May, particularly in the workplace wellness environment. Okay, our vision is simple. People have always asked me what we're about. We're building Africa's wellness tribe, and we're seeking to digitally connect a minimum of 10 million Africans in the next 5 years. Our mission is leveraging innovation and in pursuit of SDG 3, and in actual fact, as well as SDG 8. Better Life aims to build a digital ecosystem to inspire and reward ordinary people to do ordinary things in a consistent and sustainable manner in pursuit of a better life. I'd also further explain that. If you go to the previous slide, please. Yes, wellness is typically explained, well, many people focus on just physical wellness, but wellness has 8 dimensions. And we try to bring a holistic explanation, or holistically, we define wellness in these 8 dimensions. So it's financial wellness, or it's financial well-being, environmental well-being, spiritual well-being, intellectual well-being, which is what we're dealing with today, emotional well-being, physical well-being, social well-being, and occupational well-being. If you've been with us in the last 5 series, we've dealt with financial, we've dealt with physical, we did 2 webinars on occupational well-being, which essentially is also workplace well-being. Today, we're talking about intellectual well-being. Now, we usually bring this to our community, and this is based on WHO research, that 60% of deaths worldwide are caused by poor lifestyle choices. And there are 4 risk factors to that. There's physical inactivity, poor diet, tobacco use, and excessive alcohol intake. And this leads to 4 chronic lifestyle diseases: cancer, diabetes, respiratory disease, and cardiovascular disease. And all these contribute to 60% of worldwide diseases. So the point is, if we have a hand, or if we have a hold on how we live, it doesn't necessarily guarantee length of life, but definitely it would have a relationship with quality of life. Next slide, please. So today, as I said, we're talking about intellectual wellness. And we have 2 ladies who I have a relationship with. Now, I must say, and I must bring to the table that I knew both of them through an institution which I attended at a point in time, the School of Politics, Policy, and Governance, SPPG. And I must also say that Better Life, even though Better Life was a venture that was hanging in our minds and we were going to launch out anyway, but my time in SPPG helped me to articulate what Better Life was going to be about. Better Life is a social enterprise, and I was able to come to terms with that in one of my classes in the SPPG, this class that was led by Mr. Andrew Naveen. At that time, Andrew was a partner of PwC. And Andrew was able to bring to our understanding the nexus between capital and community and society. The new definition of capital being, the advancement of society, particularly in pursuit of the SDGs. So yes, I make bold to say that Better Life is a product of my experience in SPPG. And today I am pleased to have Mrs. Alero Aida Otobo, who is the founder of Incubator Africa and also the chief executive of the School of Politics, Policy, and Governance. She is one of our speakers this evening. And the other person who, in fact, used to be a dean in the SPPG is Dr. Yetunde Anibaba. She's a senior lecturer in Lagos Business School, and she's also a guest lecturer here. So I can say that this is an SPPG thing, but these are people that are very qualified to take us through a conversation around intellectual wellness. Now, we mustn't mix intellectual wellness with emotional wellness. In our environment, many of us at many times think that intellectual wellness is really about acquiring certificates and education. There might be a relationship, but these two ladies are people that will help us clear cobwebs concerning our understanding of what intellectual wellness is. Mrs. Alero Otobo is with us. Fantastic. So I'll leave as both of you just take it on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just noticed we're all wearing white or whitish. That's strange.
Yeah. You're right, actually. We got the memo.
Apparently. The memo that nobody sent, but okay. Thank you very much, Ayodeji, for having us and for the Better Health, Better Life team. We're really just going to have a conversation. I told Mrs. O, as I call her, that I'm going to be asking the questions and she will be providing the answers. But anyhow, we're going to be having a discussion, and I look forward to the engagement of the attendees also. I think the reason why we're here is because we consider this an important topic that is crucial for our overall well-being, and the way we prioritize, if we do, our physical and emotional health in terms of how we, nurturing our minds and cultivating lifelong learning, or a love for lifelong learning is just as crucial for living a fulfilling life, right, and a purposeful life. Just some quick research findings. The Alzheimer's Association indicates that engaging in intellectually stimulating activities can reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia by up to 63%. Lifelong learning can increase overall life satisfaction and well-being by up to 25%, says Gallup. Intellectual wellness is linked to improved mental health, right? Reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, and I could go on and on, yeah? But we're not necessarily going to be throwing the data at you. We simply want to have an interesting conversation. And just before we begin, I'd like us to go into the chat box and just put a note there telling us why you're here. What does intellectual wellness mean to you, right? But that's the question I'm going to start off with, Mrs. O. So what does intellectual wellness mean to you?
What does intellectual wellness mean to me? I want to start, you use data and we've been conditioned to think data. So I'm going to share some data with you. And the data that I want to share is going to demonstrate why I am really passionate about being intellectually current and stimulated. I saw this while preparing for this webinar. And by the way, I'm very excited to be here. So I'd like to start by really thanking Ayodeji for inviting me. And just listening to his presentation, I mean, for me, when he first shared the information about the 8 dimensions of wellness, I thought, wow, brilliant. It's already that talk just convincing me to come here. I thought, I'm going to be here. I want to listen to the presentation. So, Ayodeji, well done for what you're doing. And like I told you earlier on, that you've got the 2 of us in this room is because you're an alum of the School of Politics, Policy, and Governance. But, for you, we will do anything. So today, knowledge doubles every 12 hours. Every 12 hours. In the 1900s, knowledge doubled every 100 years. Okay? At the beginning of the 21st century, it doubled every 1 to 2 years. Therefore, it means that we are all faced with the reality that we have a lot to learn, and we have to know how to learn very, very quickly. So we need to know how to relearn, and we know how to learn so that we are not left behind. So imagine 1900, 100 years knowledge. Today, every 12 hours. So your question, why is this important? Intellectually, before I even realized that there was intellectual wellness, after 20 years of doing the first degree and my first master's, I felt that so much knowledge had taken place, so much had happened in the world, and I was beginning to feel a little left behind. And I did not want to be left behind. So I decided that I was going to go back to school. And I went to the university or the college that, you had LBS, Lagos Business School. So I went to LBS, London Business School. And it was an amazing 10 months. It was that experience, connecting with people from over 60 countries, that built the platform upon which the next 20 years, all that I was doing was rooted in what that intellectual engagement stimulated. It taught me the importance of just thinking time, making time to think, creating time to reflect. And so one of the ways that I get intellectually stimulated is through silence. I like absolute silence. And in absolute silence, my creative juice or creativity juice begins to just work, because there's nothing interfering with my thinking. So I find that being intellectually stimulated is key for me to my daily activities. Not something that I do when I feel like it is critical. Understanding what's going on. And that's why I like social media. I'm not going there, I'm going there for news. I'm going there for what is the most current activity. And I'm amazed by what I pick up when I go into social media. The information, the wealth of information, even the courses that are available through Coursera and all, free. You don't need to be able to pay for it. It's all stimulating us intellectually. And so going back to my experience at the London Business School, we dealt, as you know, with hundreds of case studies.
Yeah.
But all it taught me was know how to think, respect thinking, and become a thought leader. So today, I can say, because I took certain decisions to stay current, to stay relevant, to drive what bubbles inside of me. I enjoy intellectual conversation. And by the way, and I'm going to end with this, the most attractive men to me are not those that look good. It's what is in your head. That's
there's a terminology for that, right?
I know. I found that out recently.
Yeah.
Something, maybe someone will put it in the yes.
You're attracted
when I heard it,
people
when I heard it, I thought, oh my. So, just knowing that, yeah. So if your IQ is low, forget it. I'm not interested. Yeah.